What's up, guys? Welcome to the uh, final tier list video featuring the Dooms synergy. Now, Dooms is a very unfortunate team, as unfortunate synergy overall. It has been really bad since I have joined the game. Currently, in this season, they are quite strong in the season gameplays. Thinking about World Arena or the Foggy Colosseum, but those are just in the season gameplays where they are affected by the season synergies. But outside of that, they are still not really that uh, powerful to counter or to compete with other synergies like Valiantus, Ethereals, or Glorians. But yeah, in the season gameplays, they're quite strong. So starting with Halios. Now Halios is a hero which is very easily available in the guild shop. You can buy it with the guild coins or whatever you call them. Um, so whenever you ask anyone about Halios, their remarks are that Halios is one of the worst, one of the trash hero in the entire game. Yes, and they are true. That is one reason why he's so easily available. Otherwise, the game won't just give you a very good hero very easily. But he is not. He has some uses, and for that reason, we will place him a little bit above than what you might expect, like a one or two. But we will place him a little bit above. So with his active abilities, he does single target damage. And now single target damage, he does quite significant amount of damage with that. Has this 50% chance to apply stun on the target, but that's not what we are concerned about. The damage he deals is very, very nice in a boss killing environment where you face a boss which takes more damage from the Doom synergy. So yeah, he for that I will give a one for active ability. For passive abilities, he doesn't have really good passives. He applies like every time when Halios is deployed after the enemies have taken three instances, that is three damage from reflect damage. Then the LR team gains two defense boosts. Like this threshold is very high. They need to have three instances of reflect damage, and and what you get for it is just two defense boost. It is not it is not that significant to give a one for. And for the second one, Halios increases his own damage reduction by 30%. It gives him a little bit of chance to survive in the game, in the battle. But overall, it would be very nice if it was for the entire team instead of just Halios. So that's why I don't think his passive is really makes to the mark to give a one for that. So I'll give a zero for passive. Synergy in team comp. Um, I think he can go. People, because how easily he is available, people used to use it with the four Ethereals team because he is a Celestial as well. Celestial, if you don't already know, it increases crit rate by 15% and also gives an attack increase. So, which is nice, and and for that reason, that's why he was used in an Ethereal lineup alongside Karnak, Katrina, Dorabella, and maybe some people would place Atropos in there. So yeah, it was not really that bad, but I haven't seen him being used other than that. It's very hard to see him in even a Doom's lineup. So yeah, a zero for synergy and team compositions. For versatility, I would give him a one because now it might be a little bit of controversial, but I don't think I'm like between. I'm on the point of zero point 0.5, not thinking that it should deserve a one, but I have to explain myself. So let's think about it. I have mentioned previously as well that pretty much you should always prioritize having a two celestial and a two defense in your team. One celestial is still fine, but two celestial is the mark you should be aiming for. And in the Doom's lineup, there is only two celestials available. One is Madeline and one is Halios. Now, if you only use Medlin, which is a very core hero in a Doom's lineup, you only will have one Celestial. When you use two Celestial, what it gives is the second part, which is when an ally unit dies, purifies all debuffs on all allies and dispels all buffs from all enemies. Now, this is a very significant effect on the game. So whenever a Halios or any ally dies in the battlefield, this is going to dispel all buffs from the enemies and also removes all debuffs from your allies. So that's why I think he would be a solid choice and a consistent choice in a Doom's lineup. just to make that two celestials. Once we get another celestial hero for Dooms, I am 100% sure that Helios is going to be out of the game. But for now, we put a one for versatility, progression, and evolution. I don't think he has a very nice rune skill. He says each time Helios deals reflect damage, when the ally team's reflect rate is higher than 200%, he has 25% chance to apply stun to the target for 2 rounds. Now the stun is a good effect, but 25% chance is low. And when you put a threshold on it, like the ally teams must have 200% reflect rate, and all that, it's just going to inevitably makes it worse. And second part of it says at the start of the round, Helios has a 100% chance to apply one stack of curse to 3 enemy targets. Now, curse is like just only reduces attack by 40%, which is good than nothing, but it's not that significant to deserve a 1. So I give a 0 for that. For community consensus, he does mark above the average. I think it was about like 7 point something. So I'll give a 1 for that. And overall, Helios is a solid 3 hero. The next who's is Madeline. Now Madeline is a core hero in the PvP setup for Doom's lineup. In the PvE, she is very useless. She doesn't have a lot of uses, especially in Celestial Trials or Gratium or anywhere you see. She is just a very bad choice. But that doesn't make her useless. She is made for PvP, and that's what she is best for. So rating her active skills deals 360% physical damage to random enemies and applying 3 stack for leg boost. Now one thing is now she is available in the Oracle store, but no one prioritizes her to over other heroes except the Wells, because except the Wells nobody prioritizes her or maybe not have her because she's a Doom, and Dooms are weak. Nobody wants to be weak, so that's why they don't have this, and I don't have this for that reason. So, as far as I have seen, she doesn't do a very significant amount of damage that I should applaud for it. So I give a 0 for one for the active abilities. But one thing that is good about it is that she applies 3 stacks of reflect boost on all allies for 3 rounds, which is what she is I guess, good for. And as far as Dooms is concerned, Dooms lack damage by a lot. None of their heroes does so much damage that we should say they are a very strong team. But Dooms, what does good damage for Dooms is the reflect damage. So when you get increased reflect boost, then you are going to do more reflect damage, and that's why I think this reflect boost part is nice. But overall, her own damage is very low. For passive ability, she's going to summon a Drake, and the Drake does attack when your allies get hit. Yeah, it's just a summon. I'm always like nice after season 3 started. They have added an empty slot in the game where summons can spawn. So I think for that reason, I would give her passive a 1. And Medellin is deployed. Doomsdayers increase the reflect rate by even more, by 40%. When Medellin is live, she reduces all enemies damage dealt to backline allies by 50%. So yeah, it's just like a damage reduction thing, but for all the enemies in the backline. So 50% and 40% reflect rate, I think they are quite good. So I would give a 1 for the passive. For the synergy in Teamcom, I think she's made for Dooms particularly, and for the PvP especially. So I would give a 0 for synergy in Teamcom. She doesn't necessarily mean that she's bad. She is good for what she is made for. For versatility, she is consistent hero as far as the PvP is concerned. In any strong Dooms lineup, she is a very core hero, so I will give a 1 for that. Progression and evolution, she has this Medellin stores damage. So let's talk about that second. First of all, let's talk about the divide. She applies divide on two random on to the enemy with the highest attack for 2 rounds. Now, divide is not something like amnesia or pessimism or bind. It's still good than nothing, but it's not that OP as the other effects in the game. So yeah, that part is not that great. The first part is what I think is interesting. It can be powerful. It can be great. But let's read. Madeline stores the damage she takes every 2 rounds. She releases it before taking action, dealing 300% of the stored damage to all enemies. The stored damage captures 300% of the allied team's average attack. Now, if you think is kind of nice, but the question that I need to ask is, so she only deals the damage when she takes that damage. So one big issue with Dooms is they do not have a lot of survivability. So there is an always an ever going issue of survivability with them. So if she takes damage and she can survive, then this can be nice. This skill can be very good. But if she just dies in one blow, then this is very useless, because as long as she's not surviving the attacks, the damage she takes, then this is useless. She's not going to deal this 300% of the stored damage to all enemies. So yeah, I'm kind of like, it can be nice, but it may have its drawbacks. So for that reason, I don't think she deserves a one for the runes. Community consensus uh, do put her above average. I mean, so I'll give a one. And overall, Madeline becomes a hero that is a three. Moving on to Ophelia. Ophelia has been added in the last season, I think. And Ophelia is a good hero, is a good PvP hero, and not so much of PvE. For her damage, I don't know, there's something about these numbers. They always sound so nice, so much, but they do so little damage that it feels like tickling the enemies. I mean, 486% of magic damage. This seems like a lot of damage, but when I see people using it, like not people, but actually the top players like Wells using it, it does so little damage that it is so insignificant. Like I start questioning, what does it even mean? Like, is this even 486%, or is it like 4.86%? So it's like, I don't know what's about this. There is a little bit definitely going on in the background of this. So yeah, the damage overall sucks with Aphilia. When Ophelia is deployed, the effect of increasing the max HP of all allies will additionally provide an attack bonus. So basically, she converts max HP increase, not HP or healing, but max HP to attack. So every time you get, like, let's say 100% increase in max HP, she's going to provide a 50% attack bonus with it. So which is, I think, nice about her, and that's why she's popular about it. And also, she's going to give all your allies 25% chance to gain Sanctuary. Sanctuary is just like Blessing you get from Seraphina. Sanctuary just prevents one instance of taking damage or one instance of debuff. So yeah, gives your allies a little bit of survivability. Other than that, yeah, for passive ability, I think she deserves a one, so I'll give a one for that. Synergy and team comp. She has been used in some different lineups. So now we have Halisa as well here. Halisa pairs very well with Ophelia, but before that, she was used with in a Glorian's lineup with Gloria, because Gloria also increases max HP, and we all know that max HP is converted into attack by Ophelia, so that is also nice. But now most people use Ophelia with Halisa, which is perfectly fine as well. So I think she can go in some limited number of different synergies and team compositions, not a lot or unlimited, but yeah. So I think I would give us, for synergy and team composition, I'd give a two. For versatility, I think she's a strong hero. She is a core hero for in a Doom's lineup, especially when using Halisa. She should be over there as well, and that's what is people are using in this season. So for versatility, I would give a one. Progression and evolution is just going to enhance this effect. So if you use Ophelia in a team where you cannot get max HP, it is an issue. But if you have her runes, then it may not be an issue, because when affiliates deploy Sanctuary, when your allies get Sanctuary, they also get 150% of max HP increased. So this max HP is going to increase to 75% of attack on the allies that have the Sanctuary. So which is nice. I think that have like a synergy or synergistic effect with herself. So progression evolution, I would give a one. Community consensus doesn't put her in the list, but I would say they definitely would put her above average. Overall, would make her a hero that is a six. Moving on to Ayushta. Now, Ayushta is also not too difficult to get from, but she is available in Oracle Shop. She appears quite often in Rift Odyssey as well. With her active, again, 315% magical damage to all enemies. I don't think her damage is too powerful. It's not a lot to give a one, but what I do like about her is that she applies Confuse to two random targets for one round and dispels two stacks of buffs from them. The dispel part is kind of irrelevant, but this Confuse part is nice. Considering that she has a very high speed of 126, she is always guaranteed uh, to move first and apply confuse on two random targets. But if you also pairs it with her rune effects, which we will talk about in a bit, you can increase that confusion from one round to, I think, like 2 or 3 rounds. So yeah, for a one, I would give for that. For the active, for the passive, Ayushta increases damage reduction. I think this is for the entire team, because you say Ayushta increases damage reduction, doesn't say increases her own damage reduction, as it says for with Helios or other heroes. So yeah, I think it's for the entire team. And also, when Ayushta is deployed, increases the reflect rate of all allies by 20%. So as I said, reflect rate increase is very important when the main source of damage for Dooms is reflect damage. So getting more reflect rate will give you more reflect damage. So that's very important. And that's she only has this one. So yeah, overall for passive, I would give a one. For synergy and team comp, she is best used. Her skills are best used or best made for a lineup where dooms are available. So outside of that, she's not really that used. So I would give a zero for that. Versatility, she is quite a consistent hero in a dooms lineup, in PvP especially. In PvE, she's not really a very important character to be used. She's not a good boss killer or anything. So yeah, a one for versatility, progression and evolution. As I said, she increases the duration of the confuse by 2 rounds. So that means from one round it goes to 3 rounds. So applying confuse for 3 rounds is, I think, a very significant effect. So I would give a one for that. Community consensus do put her above average. So overall, making her a hero that scores 5. Going on to Lamia. Lamia is one of the best heroes in the game. She's a very core hero in ethereal in many teams. You can talk about Dooms. She's a good hero, and overall you can use her into any other team as well. It doesn't make a big difference. So talking about her active damage, she does single target damage, and also she does direct target, which is nice. And this damage is a lot. She does a lot of damage and applies reflect boost as well. So overall active ability, a one. For passive ability, she has this chance of triggering sanctuary up to 10 times per round. This sanctuary is just as the same invincible when taking damage, like that. And also, if you have her on 7 stars, then what happens is that the sanctuary, every time sanctuary is triggered, Lamia is also going to cast her ultimate, dealing 50% of the damage. It's, remember, it's up to 10 times per round. There is no limit on this one, but there is 10 times per round on the sanctuary limit. So it's like 10 times per round is very high amount. In like you can pretty much solo with Lamia the whole enemy team sometimes. So also increases reflect rate by 25%. So yeah, kind of a very good passive skills. Synergy in team comp, as I said already, she doesn't have to be used in a Dooms. Yes, you can use her in a Dooms. You can use her in a Ethereals. You can use her in maybe Glorians. Like, not everyone uses it because putting her in a Glorians is just essentially going to remove one Glorian from the team. Or if you use her in any other team, you're just going to have to compromise or make up for something else. But here, Lamia, yeah, overall, a very versatile hero. You can go into many teams. So for that, I'll give a 2 for Synergy and Teamcom. She is a very important hero, PvP and PvE. So versatility, I'll give a 1. Progression and evolution makes her even more stronger because every time Lamia casts her ultimate, then she is going to increase her ultimate's damage by 150%, uh, up to 10 times. So that's like 1500% each round, but based on Abyssal Breath releases up to 10, maximum 10 times. And also, that doesn't end here. She's also going to remove to apply amnesia on 2 random targets. Amnesia is, again, as I said, is a very good effect because it limits the enemy to use only basic attacks. So yeah, overall, a very strong hero. Community consensus do put her above average. So overall, makes her about a 7. Athena is a non-royal hero in Dooms. She's not a very great character. Her skills doesn't do a lot of damage. Does put reflect boost, but I think you need to do a little bit more than that as a non-royal hero to get a 1 for active skill. So I'll give a 0 for that. Passive skill, she doesn't have good passive. Yes, increases the reflect rate by 25% and also gives some damage reduction to herself, not to the whole team. But that's not, I think, that substantial. So I'll give a 0 for that. Synergy in Team Comp, she is, you can see the synergy. She doesn't have the synergies. Her skills are not that great to use her in many other teams. So a 0 for that as well. For versatility, she is a bad hero overall and doesn't get used so much. So 0 for versatility. Progression and evolution is where I would give a 1 because I've always said physical damage reduction or magic damage reduction by 40% is always good. It gives you a little bit of survival chance in the battle. So yeah, that part is nice. The other part is not really that great. So it's just going to increase the stack limit of attack boost by 10%. There are not many good source of attack boost except Halisa, I think, which was just released this season. So yeah, that part is a bit irrelevant, but the first part is nice, where she provides physical damage reduction by 40% to the entire team. That's why I'm giving a 1. Community consensus puts her a little bit above average. Average is 5, and she gets like a 5.06. So barely makes up the mark, and I will give a 1 for that. And overall, she becomes a 2. Merlin is a hero that was not seen by many people before this season, but now he is kind of seen into into one lineup. This particular lineup that is being used with 3 or 4 monarchs and three dooms. It is a seasonal lineup, so it may not be very effective outside of the season gameplays. In the season gameplays, especially in World Arena or Foggy Colosseum, it is kind of good because, as I said, survival is an issue with Dooms, but when you pair it with Monarch, Monarch gives you a little bit of survival boost. And also, if you have the Dooms, then Dooms is going to, in the seasonal setup, Dooms does a lot of reflect damage. So yeah, that's why it is very popular. But generally, he doesn't have that impressive of active and passive abilities. His active does this damage, which is not really too much to praise about, but just applies reflect boost as well. So that is one good thing about it. But yeah, it doesn't make up to the mark to give a 1. Passive ability, he's going to increase reflect rate by 25%, which is nice. And that's all he has. But yeah, it's nice to have, but it's not enough to give a 1. Synergy and Teamcom, as I said, he was not used before this season, but now in this season, because of addition of Halisa, he is being used in a Doom's lineup with a Monarch, which is surprisingly doing very well. So yeah, for synergy and teamcom, I'd give a 0 for that. Versatility, in this season, he is quite consistent in that particular lineup. Other than that, he is a useless hero. Progression and evolution, I think he has the same as Athena. Physical damage reduction increased by 40% for all allies. And also, each time Merlin takes action, he applies 2 stacks of Reflect Boost on all allies. And I think for Doom's Reflect Boost is more important than attack boost overall. So yeah, and it's just for the physical damage reduction part, I would give a 1. Community consensus do put her a little bit above a 5. I think like 5 point something. So yeah, I'll give a 1 for that as well and makes him a 2. Sylvan is another one. I think Sylvan was a very popular hero before all these other royal heroes, before they were all released. But yeah, Sylvan now is completely out of the game. Nobody even talks about her. She does, I think, quite good amount of damage with her skills, with her active skills. So I would give a 1 for that. And for her passive abilities, she has a kind of nice. She is increasing reflect rate stakes by 10. I think is nice. It's very unique in the entire Dooms. I think nobody increases reflect rate stakes, but there are many heroes that provides reflect boost. So yeah, it's nice. And this one, Sylvan additionally increases reflect rate by 25. When Sylvan is deployed, all allies increase their reflect rate. So it's kind of twice increases the reflect rate by 25 and again by 20%. When Sylvans deployed, all allies recover 5%. This part is trash, but the other parts are very nice. So yeah, I think it makes up to the mark to give a 1 for passive. Synergy in Team Com, unfortunately, she's not really, she's made for Dooms, but right now there are many heroes, better heroes in Dooms, so she's kind of out of the game. So 0 for Synergy in Team Composition and a 0 for Versatility. Progression in Evolution, I think she doesn't have, she has this healing bane type of thing. When reflect is triggered, Sylvan has 30% chance to apply healing bane to all enemies for 2 rounds. Now healing bane is just prevents the enemy from healing themselves for 2 rounds, which is I haven't seen a lot. Maybe it kind of is. I think it might be nice, but I don't think it would be too substantial. Of course, there are other things like Healing Rupture, Vital Drain. I think those are better than Healing Bane, but Healing Bane is good to have. So I would give a 0 for Progression Evolution. Community consensus do give her above average, barely. So I would give a 1 for that answer. And she scores a 3. Next up is Doris. Doris is a very core hero in a Doom's lineup. She does this AoE damage and applies Reflect Boost, which is surprisingly more than what their royal heroes do in terms of damage. So I would give a 1 for active damage. For the passive, she's going to apply this each time Doris takes action. When the total reflect rate of all allied team is greater than 100%, there is 50% chance to apply Vital Drain. So I think Vital Drain is a little bit better than the Healing Bane. So I think it's nice. And this one, she's going to increase reflect rate by 25%. So I give a 1 for passive. For synergy in team com, I think it wouldn't harm if you use her as a striker in a striker team in the early game. In the late game, you have to, because she's a Dooms benefit more when they are in a team of 5. So yeah, I think she's not best suited for any other synergies to go for. A 0 for synergy team comp versatility. She is a consistent hero in Doom's lineup in a PvP and maybe PvE as well. And this runes is where she is best for, because in runes she has, when Doris is deployed, the reflect damage is the reflect damage, not the reflect rate. So reflect damage of Doomsdayers increased by 100%. So it's just going to increase that reflect damage by twice, and there's 100% chance to dealing additional reflect damage when enemy takes action. So very nice. It increases your damage output. Community consensus do put her above average, and overall makes her a hero that scores a 5. Now, I have not talked about the royal heroes that were added in this game because they're hard to get and I haven't had a chance to use them or talk about them. But Halisa is something that is easily achievable, and I have used her a little bit. She is a very powerful hero. She's a very powerful hero. in terms of damage, in terms of support to the entire team, giving attack boost, reflect boost, HP boost, so much. And she's also a monarch, which makes her even better. So let's talk about her active skill. Active skill, she does 300% physical damage to single enemy, single target hitter, very good boss killer, very high damage. She does more damage than Lamia in most instances. So yeah, in terms of damage, she is a beast. So one for active. For passive abilities, each time Halisa gains a reflect boost, she applies one stack of attack boost to all allies. Now this is where I talked about, like, there are not many good sources of attack boost in Dooms, but she is recently added, and every time you get a reflect boost, you also get an attack boost. I'm not going to talk about a lot about the reflect damage, but if you think about it, the reflect damage they scales based on reflect rate and also your ally team's attack. So if you get an increase in reflect boost and also you get an increase in attack, that is going to have a more effect of more damage, or then you will do more damage, reflect damage, than just getting a reflect rate boost. I hope that makes sense, but I'm not too sure. Um, for this part, at the start of each round, Halisa gains attack based on the total stacks of reflect boost and attack boost in the team. Each stack increases her attack by 20% up to 20 stacks. So that is four up to 400% attack boost. Additionally, increases our allies' max HP by 10%, defense by 5, and up to 20 stacks. So that's like about 200% of HP boost, max HP boost. And that's why the max HP part, that's why she is being used with Ophelia, have this synergistic effect where max HP is converted into attack. So yeah, overall she has a very good speed as well. Passive gets a 1. Synergy in team comp, I don't think you need to use her in a Dooms. You can certainly use her in a Dooms, or you can use her in many other lineups, in Valianter or in many other lineups. You don't have to use her in a Dooms. So I give a 2 for synergy in team comp. A versatility, I think she's going to be a very consistent hero overall, generally in Celestial Trials, in Grace Room, in PvP, PvE, everywhere. Progression and evolution, she even becomes more stronger because when you have her rules, when deploying 3 Monarch synergy mates, Halisa and Monarch synergy mates increase their max HP by 500%. So yeah, it's kind of going to be nice. Currently, people are using Salisa, and I see that most of them have prioritized her with the her runes. When they get the red runes, they get like this 500% on each of the Monarch teammate. And if you use Ophelia in the team, then this 500% max HP is also going to be converted into 250% attack boost. That is on top of what you get, like this 100% attack boost from here, when she applies 200% HP boost, and then it will be converted into 100. So overall, it gives a lot of attack boost, a lot of max HP boost, makes her a very core hero, a very powerful hero, in my opinion. So a 1 for her runes, a 1 for community consensus, because I'm 100% sure they're going to put her at least an 8 or 8.5. So yeah, I don't have Halisa's icon here to put her in a 7, but she overall is a 7. So let's say this is Halisa and we put her here. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed all of this. Yes, of course, there's going to be some disagreement about the tier list. Maybe you don't like her in some places, but that's all we can do. You know, we cannot consider every factor in this game when making a tier list. So yeah, see you in the next one.